why content is so important to your law firm, and how do you come up with content ideas? Hey guys, Jamal Galadar here, helping law firms and attorneys with online marketing and SEO. Well, let's not take too long here. Let's dive right in, guys. So, content is extremely, extremely important. And moving forward, it's just going to be more and more important, especially with voice search. Voice search, 50% of all searches online are voice searches in 2020. That's huge. That is huge. As well as 40% of adults on a daily basis on mobile devices use voice. Now, that was done by a Quora Creative study. So you can see how huge that is. 50% of people in 2020 are using voice search, right? So, what does that mean for your law firm? What that means is you need content. You really need content to your website, as well as content that's going to capture long tail searches. So, what is a long tail search? Why is it so important? Let's get right into it, guys. So, I just did what we call a vanity search, a very standard search. People will search like this, but um, family law attorney, Gulfport, Mississippi, right? These are two firms I work with right up top here, or I should say I worked with before I moved to Tampa. Now I work in this area. But the Maggio, the King Law Firm, are clients I work with. Why do they rank so well? Well, they're constantly pushing out content. We optimize our Google My Business page. A lot goes into it by getting the local listing, but content is huge. I can't stress that enough. Um, if you have just a standalone site, quite frankly, you're probably not going to be ranking for anything. If your site is very stagnant, you just paid it. Let's say you paid someone to put up a site, you put up a site yourself, but you're not adding to it. You're not, revamping it, making sure you're showing up for search terms. You're not looking at the analytics, or you don't have someone looking at those stuff for you, then you're just not going to be showing up for searches. The only searches you may be showing up for is possibly your name. Now that's getting even more competitive, right? So when I say that your name's getting competitive, it has to do with branded pay per click and what your name is for your law firm, right? I'll have a whole nother video on branded pay per click, but basically it's bidding on your name. So let's say if it's Smith Law Firm, and then there's another firm that's Smith Law, right? Whoever's pushing out more content is and has that mentioned more times in their site is going to outrank the other one. So if you're Smith Law Firm and you don't have a lot of content, and then you have Smith Law is going to probably outrank you majority of the time. And I'm not going to put this firm on blast, so I'm not going to say their name, but there's another firm and they have personal injury in their firm name. Well, a lot of other firms are showing up higher than them when someone's even Googling their own name. That has to do with pay per click because they're bidding on personal injury, but also content. So, content's really important. And it's just going to become more and more important today. And what I'm going to dive into is kind of the content you should be having on your site, as well as we're going to look into some site maps here of other firms that are ranking extremely well online. So let's just take a look here. So this is one of the firms that I just showed you in Mississippi that I work with. But here's just their content, right? Now, this is a smaller website, right? So it still ranks really well for what that firm wants to rank for, right? Specifically. And how we did that is we looked at the content and looked at their potential client and geared all their content to that niche and make sure we're outranking other firms with search terms and things like that. That's really important. So you can see just some of their content here, but I wanted to show you one of our larger sites here for content. So how you'd find content on another firm's webpage is you just scroll all the way down and just usually it's down here and you can go to sitemap. Um, but when we come down here and scroll down, you're going to see how much content this firm has, right? This firm has a ton of content, right? It goes on and on and on for their firm, right? They're doing criminal. They're going to be showing up for vanity searches, long tail searches, voice searches. So it's important. You can see they have a ton of content, right? It goes on and on and on. And I'll show you another firm site here that's really large as well. So this, you can see I can keep scrolling, right? What does this mean? This just means they're showing up for relevant searches in their practice area, right? This can be very overwhelming for a small practitioner, and that I already understand and I know. So as a small practitioner, you can see here how much content these sites have. Now, these you can see how many blogs they have, a ton of questions, they have North Carolina in there mentioned, right? All that's important because that's how you're going to show up for searches. And then you have click-through rate, how many people are clicking on that blog. So that comes with title tags, meta tags. We'll get into that a little later when in another video. But I just wanted, this is all about content, how to write some content and what you should structure. So you can see here this firm is ranking really well just in general. You can see how much content they have. But as a small practitioner, you may think, oh, I just don't have time for that, right? There's a lot of tips and tricks that you can do, and I'm going to show you here to help your firm, right? And making it not as overwhelming and figuring out how to write content, right? And I know a lot of attorneys just don't have time, but first you're a business owner, and sometimes I run into attorneys that are solo practitioners that they forget that sometimes, and I've owned two businesses myself. You have to take care of your business. You do that by marketing your firm, branding your firm, and running your business very smoothly. If you're not marketing, you're probably just getting referrals. You don't know how many referrals you're losing because other law firms are doing this. You have to start marketing. You have to start pushing out content for your firm, period. Or you're losing clients that you shouldn't be losing, right? You're a fabulous attorney, and you may not be able to help people because all these other marketing firms and attorneys are just marketing, 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 getting all the clientele that come in because people are doing the searches online. And when they're getting referrals, they're getting multiple referrals. But let's go here. Here's another firm. I just didn't want to be biased. This is another firm that we don't work with, but this is a PI firm that ranks extremely well in the Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg area. And why? Look at the content. They have ongoing content, and look at how targeted they are. They have Newport Richey, they have Brandon, Clearwater, right? And Fort Lauderdale. Their content's really engaged in those search terms, so they're showing up, right? So as a small practitioner, here's some tips, right? Well, I'm gonna show you some ubersuggest. This is by Neil Patel. This is a fabulous tool for firms. So now I'm going to walk you through some of this. I'm going to make a whole nother video that's really diving deep into this site and how you can use it to help your firm. But before this site, let's just talk about how can small law firms really start generating content and coming up with content. It has to do with questions that you're getting asked, right? That's going to be the best start for your firm, right? You're going to have pages of content for each practice area for sure, right? And you can keep expanding that and make sure you have search terms and stuff like that. And we can go at another one, another video. But first, I just want to go about how you can get in the practice of writing content or knowing really what content you want to be pushed out. So if you are hiring someone to do your content for you, one, you should be make sure that they're exclusively legal. FindLaw is exclusively legal. We push out content for firms a lot of the firms that we work with. So bi-weekly blogs, you should be posting at least bi-weekly at minimum, if not more. But as a solo practitioner, you want to focus on questions, right? So what questions do you get asked all the time? I'm sure there's certain ones you get asked all the time. I ask my attorneys all the time, right on the spot. They forget, they can't really remember, but I'm sure there's some that you get all the time, right? And just take note of that, right? You're speaking with a client, they ask you a question, jot it down. Because these are the questions that these clients are looking for. These are what they're going to be typing in Google. These are what they're going to be voice searching in Google. Is the questions they're asking you. Also, when you have staff answering the phone, have them write down the questions they're getting all the time. The more questions you can get that you're getting all the time, even some that you don't get all the time, but come around every so often, you want to blog about those. Or you should have a page dedicated to those questions and having multiple questions in there because those are the questions people are asking Google. And that's how they're going to find your firm, right? And you answer the question in a way that they know they need an attorney, right? Just don't give them everything unless that question is just going to be bothersome to the firm, or you can weed out some of the quality, right? That's what I tell my firms. They ask like, how can I make sure I'm getting good quality calls? Well, you're going to have to sift through some carp. Um, but if you make sure all these questions are filled out very good, some of the people you can just weed out, right? That they find out they don't need a case by reading your website or your blog, right? So it's really important to jot down these questions. Now, when you have these questions, just write about them and then post a blog. Or what you can do is tell the people who are writing the blogs for you to focus on these questions. I always ask my attorneys to come up with all these questions, give them to me. That way I know what we're going to be blogging about, and I tell them to keep an idea of what other questions they're getting and some ideas that pop in their mind. But also, let's say you just cannot figure out what questions are getting asked all the time. This is a great tool, and I'm going to show you really some really cool stuff on this site that you can do, and I'm just going to do it real quick. So let's just take one of these firm sites here. So let's just use this firm site. Oops. We'll just copy this, guys, and we're going to put it in here. And then I'm going to scroll down because I'm sure my face is going to be covering some of this stuff up. All right, so I just did a search here, and we're going to scroll down to see what questions are the top questions, right? Now, look here. How do Mississippi courts collect back child support owed? That is a great question. 63 visitors per month, right? So you'd want to blog about something like that if you're in family law in that area, right? So what you'd want to do is do some standard searches in Google, right? So here's just another example, right? This is a vanity search. So criminal defense attorney Tampa. You have the pay-per-click ads. You come in here and you see who's ranking. So I know I work with another one of these firms here, but uh, just grab one of these, put it in ubersuggest, and then figure out what their top ranking pages are. Right? It's that easy. And then you can figure out what their top ranking pages are, and then you can blog about that. Right? So I'll just take another one here. Right? Put in ubersuggest. And I can spend hours on this site, guys, showing you more on how to do these searches and things like that. But right, age of consent. That's something I want to blog about. But look at this. State targets Craigslist for adult service ads. 39,000 visits. I'd say that's some brand awareness right there, right? So it's really important to do that. But let's say you just can't think of, you're really struggling, right, to think of some keyword ideas. I just put child custody in here. Now I'm going to scroll down so you can see it. And hopefully my face isn't blocking it too much here. Let me see. All right. Scroll down. No, come on now. Sorry, everyone. I'm just trying to scroll down so you can see these keywords. You know what? Even better. Let me just put my face over here. Oops. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure you guys can see this. All right, so child custody, right? So you can see these are worth about $7. You can see like cost per click, 21, 21, right? Then I'm gonna go to here, questions. There you go. Isn't that cool? How child custody works. Are child custody records public? And you can see like the search volume when child custody and mediation fails. Boom. You got questions right there that you can start blogging about. So it's just getting in a cadence of blogging all the time. If you don't have time, I understand you're running your business. I ran two small businesses myself. Then just outsource it, right? Outsource it to people who know what they're doing, right? You don't want someone writing content that doesn't know what they're doing. But I want to finish this video about how you should be writing your content. Always, always, always think about your end consumer, right? When I say that is what I find attorneys do is they start writing content for other attorneys, right? Not the legal consumer that they're targeting. And that's who you want to be writing your content for. However, if you're targeting other attorneys, you want referrals, right, to your firm from other attorneys, or you know, you do law that you're focused on representing other attorneys or business. Let's say you're in business litigation, you're going after executives who are doing the searches, but not every executive is extremely well educated, right? But when you write content, you should be going at a seventh grade reading level. I know a lot of firms may not want to do it that way, but that's what's going to drive more business to your firm, right? Is writing content that the legal consumer can understand, they can engage with, and they're not going to bounce right off, right? You want to engage those potential clients. That, in the end, is going to get them to call you. They're going to get converted, as well as going to help you rank on Google because more people will click on it. They're going to stay on your page, and then they're going to contact you. And Google likes to see people staying on pages, and that's going to help you rank. So I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm going to have another video going over how to write these questions and things like that with keywords and all that. But you can be pushing out content all the time, right? It doesn't always have to be a blog. It could be video. It could be posting pictures to your Facebook page. These are all really important for the overall development of your law firm and as your brand as a business, right? If someone comes to your Facebook page, there's nothing on it, there's nothing online, they can't find anything about you. Consumers want more. Legal consumers want more. If there's nothing about you online or on social media, they're going to get referrals from friends and family, right? They're probably going to have more than one. They're going to go online. They're not going to find anything about you. There's not much content out there. You're just going to lose that potential client. So I hope this helped. Leave a comment below of what you're going to take, what you're going to start doing now to push content. Let me know if you have any questions. You can visit my website, jamalgaladari.com or lawyermarketing.com, which is FindLaw. Tons of resources on that. Well, I hope this helped. I look forward to helping your law firm grow with SEO and online marketing. And talk to you soon. Subscribe for more videos.